Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome into the video. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 stocks that I'm watching and looking to trade this upcoming week and month. And of course, a quick reminder, you should always have your own plan behind getting into any trade you get into. I'm not telling you to buy these stocks. I'm just sharing what I'm personally doing in the market. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. Take a look at last week's picks, how those performed, and then we'll get into the 3 stocks I'm watching for this upcoming week. Let's get into it. So first off, last week we talked about Regis Corp, ticker symbol RGS, has a heavily oversold play, looking for a reversal on this one. So what happened last week is we got the move that we were looking for on Tuesday, finally breaking out above that resistance level at 4.2. It ended up not being able to hold the move on Wednesday. Did not help that the market was dumping either, so it ended up being a false breakout and then broke below that support level. So this is one that I personally got stopped out of after it hit that stop loss. Like we talked about last week, still a very close watch for me when the reversal does happen. Looking for a move back over that 3.6 level to get back in. Next up, we talk about Huya and Douyu trading right above cash value, oversold, due for a reversal very soon. Nothing has changed for me on these trades. They're each down about 5% this past week. I've personally been adding to my position on any red days at these levels, still targeting that 10.5 gap fill level for Huya and targeting that move to 4.5 plus for Douyu. Same thesis on each one of these, just the overall market was tough this past week for any type of swing trade. Next up, we talked about Vislink, ticker symbol VISL. It has not made the full breakout move we're looking for yet, but it did bounce off that support level once again. Still looking for that confirmed move over $2 to see that breakout to 2.2 plus. This is another one that I added more of last week, and when the market is right, in my opinion, it's bouncing back right now. I think this one completes the breakout move and we see a much larger move very soon. Still very bullish on VISL. And then finally, we talked about Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA. It continued the breakout move early in the week. The overall market did end up bringing it down later in the week, so closed about flat for the week. Still holding above that key level at 760. Still expecting and looking for a larger move over 780 for a move to $800 plus. With that tight stop loss at 760, if the market does bounce back, I think we'll see Tesla complete this breakout move over at $800 per share. The overall market was not kind to swing trades this past week. Although on Friday we are seeing the start of a bounce back. We'll see if that continues into next week. If so, a lot of these swings, in my opinion, are going to bounce back very quickly, especially the ones that are heavily beat down. I think there'll be some great trading opportunities upcoming if we do see continuation of that market bounce, which I personally think is likely this coming week. Okay, so getting into this week's trades. First off, this first stock I'm liking a lot right now is Boeing, ticker symbol BA. So the current stock price is $226, and Boeing is a play in the travel sector. The technical setup is setting up for a full breakout and reversal, which we'll take a look at just a second. And with the recent catalyst that we got on Friday of Merck saying that it has the first antiviral pill to be found effective against COVID, that is huge news for the sector as a whole. This gives investors and traders confidence to get back in these travel stock trades. And out of these names, in my opinion, Boeing is setting up for the largest breakout move. So taking a look at the chart, Boeing has been setting up in this bull flag for the past few months, ever since May, and is nearing a full breakout move out of this flag. And taking a look at the weekly chart on this stock, it's been a continuous pattern of higher highs and higher lows, which is an overall very bullish uptrending pattern. Right now it looks like it's just putting in its next higher low and looking to break out and make its next higher high out of this pattern. And zooming back into the daily chart, that pink line is a 200-day moving average, which is a key level to get over. It has been acting as recent resistance. If Boeing does make a move back above that 200-day moving average, that would also result in the bull flag breakout, with first upside targets up to 240, 252, 260, and then 278 to 280, and above that 280 level it can then go on to make its next higher high. So we'll see, but those are the first targets that I'm looking at for BA to get to. And for potentially a longer term target, it does have that gap fill still open on the weekly chart up to 330. Gaps fill 90% of the time and even more likely to fill on weekly time frame charts. I think this one makes a quick move like we saw from Spirit Aerosystems, ticker symbol SPR. Talked about this one a couple weeks ago. This one got the breakout move like we were talking about and is up about 20% since making this move. Alright, so the next stock that I'm watching very closely right now is Wish stock, ticker symbol WISH. So current market cap about 3.4 billion, current stock price at $5.32. So a couple months ago we saw Wish make a run from 7.8 up to 15. It was a very popular retail trader stock, very popular on Wall Street bets, very popular on financial Twitter as well. After making that 100% plus move, ever since then it has essentially been falling like a knife after missed earnings, after the popularity has faded. But this is a very attractive point in my opinion to potentially look for an entry here and for this one to start another run. So it is setting up in a falling wedge formation and nearing the inflection point of that pattern, which does give a very good chance for a reversal and breakout move. as you can just see from this textbook definition of the falling wedge. Another technical factor that does make a bounce likely is it is showing bullish divergence on the RSI. So this means as the stock price is making lower lows, the RSI is making higher lows. And you can see that pattern on the RSI on the daily chart and on the 4-hour chart as well. And that just makes a balanced and reversal that much more likely. And if this breakout was to play out, it would have initial upside up to that 7.5 near-term resistance point. After that, it would have upside to 8.75, and after that, I can see full upside on the gap fill up to 9.32 as the higher target if this stock was to gain a lot of momentum again, and if the hype comes back to this play, which in my opinion is a real possibility to happen once again. And if things were to go south on this trade, I'd have a stop loss if it was to break below $5, which should be acting as the next key psychological support level. So just risking about 5 to 6% downside on this trade. And this is just a short-term trade for me. This is not a stock that I would want to be in long-term. I'm personally not a fan of their declining monthly customers, which was shown in last earnings. It is yet to be known if that's going to bounce back to positive growth or not. It's not something that I want to bet on personally. I know that some people out there are very bullish on the company, so I have nothing against it. Just not one that I want to personally be in for the long term. And taking a look at a couple more of the fundamentals, like we were talking about, it has about a $3.4 billion market cap. One very attractive thing with the valuation is that they do hold a ton of cash at $1.57 billion with very little debt. So that should give a nice cushion to the company while they are losing money right now. So we'll see what happens with this one. Once you're going to have a stop loss if it did break below $5 and targeting a move to 7.5 plus with that higher targets as talked about. Alright, so the next stock I'm going to be talking about is the Gap, ticker symbol GPS. And we talked about this one a couple weeks ago. I'm bringing this one up once again because the more I look into it, just the more bullish I get on the trade overall. I think this one's a great trade into the holiday season and also a great long-term investment at these prices. We can just take a look at some of these fundamentals. Current market cap of $8.86 billion. Trailing PE at a little bit below 12, with the forward PE in the low 9s at 9.35. An unheard of PE, even cheaper than value stocks. And this is a growing company with some very bullish things going on for the business as of right now, which we'll look into in just a second. With their recent quarter, they had 28.6% year-over-year growth. A very profitable company. They pay a healthy dividend as well of 2.1% with a very healthy payout ratio below 20%. Great sign for any dividend investors out there. Now, something not so great about the business is the balance sheet, $2.71 billion in cash, $7.36 billion in debt. There could be much worse things, and this is just still super cheap for the current valuation in the low 9s of a forward PE. Absolute steal. With their growth expected to continue, they're currently being valued as a dying business, which they are far from that. Just comparing it to one of the competitors, Lululemon trades for a forward PE at 44.4 with a market cap of $54 billion. Now, of course, Lululemon is growing much faster and is more of an exciting company, but just with this comparison, you can see how undervalued the Gap is. So this past year, the Gap signed Kanye West to a 10-year contract to collab with their Yeezy brand, and this past week, they had their first real drop, which was the Yeezy Gap hoodie drop. And initially, of course, there was some hate about how these hoodies looked. Some tweets, people said, those Yeezy Gap hoodies look like every hoodie at Walmart. $90 for a basic Yeezy Gap hoodie. Kanye really done lost his mind with this one. But look, the sales and the pricing speak for itself. Each of these hoodies retailed for $90. I'm sure the margins were great on this one. They all sold out almost immediately as the drop happened. And as of right now, they're reselling for at least double the price, if not more, for some of these colors. And this just says moving forward, each drop is going to be a very hot commodity. They're going to be selling out just as fast as they sold out this time, almost immediately for any drop in the future. As this is just a business for people who buy and resell these, they're going to be buying up these Yeezy drops like crazy. And of course, there are great margins on these products, as it's being looked at as kind of a designer or very hyped up brand. Another one of Gap's growing brands is Athleta, and they announced earlier in the year that they're bringing this to Canada and other international markets, which is going to be a huge tailwind for the company moving forward. And Athleta just started to launch in these new locations during the summer, and that is going to be reflected on their next earnings, which is going to be Q3. So that should definitely boost the Q3 numbers. As they recently just blew out the second quarter numbers, I personally think that they blow out the third quarter results as well with this Yeezy drop, along with the Athleta brand moving to Canada and other new locations. There are very strong tailwinds for this company moving forward. Just a company that should not be trading for a forward PE at 9.35 and expected to continue that strong revenue and EPS growth into next year as well. And taking a look at the technicals on this one, it hit yearly highs back in May, around $38. It's down about 40% since then, currently sitting in the mid-23s, and this has been setting up in a falling wedge since highs, something that's going to result in a strong breakout and reversal when the move back up does happen. I think this will run quick up to $30 plus when that breakout move does happen, and this is one that I'm personally accumulating on any dips and targeting for a swing up to $30 plus. And I'm also very interested in building out a long-term position at these levels just because the valuation is so cheap with so many growth drivers moving forward. So those are the 3 stocks I'm watching very closely this upcoming week. Quick review, first off, Boeing, ticker symbol BA, looking for a breakout above 228 to 230 range for an entry for a target up to 260 plus. Some places that I would add if it does not break out is that 210 and 200 levels. No exact stop loss level on this one for me because I'll either add on that pullback or I'll add on the breakout, whichever way the stock does move. Next up, Wish, ticker symbol WISH. Stop loss below $5 per share, targeting that 7.5 first target with overall upside to that 9.32 gap fill level if it was to see a strong breakout move. And then finally the Gap, ticker symbol GPS, one that I'm looking at adding in this range for an overall swing target of $30 plus. It's a fundamental based trade, so no exact stop loss level for me. If you want that exact stop loss level, my recommendation would be to have a stop loss if it was to break below $22, which is the next support level from here. So that's going to do it for the video. If it did provide some value to you, I'd greatly appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It does come out a lot. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And for anyone interested in joining the private Discord chat, that's the first link down in the description. You get alerts every time I buy and sell any stocks. You get full access to my short-term and long-term portfolios. I answer any questions you have and send out nightly watch lists. So that's the first link down in the description. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Make sure to trade smart this upcoming week. And I'll catch you next time. Let's get rich.